Good afternoon, everyone. It is Sunday, June the 5th, I believe. And it is around lunchtime, like probably 12:30. And I'm sitting out on the patio, enjoying a little bit of breeze. It's a pretty humid, hot day here in Texas. And so I just came out on the patio and had a little lunch and decided that it felt like a good time to start recording kind of my VSG journey for y'all. So I think this is going to be too much to put into one video. I think it would be way too long. So I think the best way to do it is we're going to break it up into a couple of videos. So I think this first one's just going to be kind of why I decided to have VSG surgery, what prompted me to decide that that was the path I needed to go, and what steps I took to get that started. Then I think the next video, we can kind of talk about how the surgery was. We could talk about side effects, problems after surgery, pain levels, all of that kind of fun stuff that people want to know about. And then I think we can move on to maybe a third video about how things went over the course of the first year. Did I have plastics? If I did, what did I have done? Why did I have it done as quickly as I did? If I did have anything done, maybe plastics aren't an option, So then we can move on to where we're at now, a year post VSG, actually over a year post VSG. We could talk about, where I'm at goal-wise, what I want moving forward, all of those kind of fun things. So this is something that several people have asked for, and I know there's not a lot of solid long-term information from people on YouTube, so maybe people will find this helpful. And if they do and they want to ask me questions about VSG, then I'm happy to do videos on that and answer any questions. Now, I am not a medical expert. I mean, I worked in pharmacy for 15 years, so I have a little bit of knowledge on the background of the medicine side of things, but this is just my journey. This is what's working for me. This is my experience. That's all I have to speak to. You can, everyone's going to figure it out for themselves, and everyone's journey is different. So I'll say that, but this is my journey, and I've been asked to share it, and I've decided that it feels like it's time to start doing that. Sorry, I got like a lump in my throat. Okay, so what prompted me to get VSG surgery? I have been heavy as long as I can remember. I know I was overweight in middle school. I know I was teased and made fun of about my weight as early as elementary school, like 4th, 5th grade. I know that I didn't want to work out in 4th and 5th grade because I was relentlessly teased at school for my appearance, and it was hard. It was hard on me. Like, my knees and ankles were already hurting in 4th and 5th grade. And so Bonnie's gonna start barking. Bonnie! And so, stop. Sorry. The neighbor dogs were out. I think she's trying to find where the neighbor dogs went. There she goes. She's headed off to the back fence. Her little friends. They're way bigger than her, but her little friends. So anyways, I was always heavy. It affected me all through middle school. It affected me all through high school. It affected me trying to date. It's always affected me. My weight has always affected me. And, I've just always been heavier than other people. Now, there are all different weights of people that have weight loss surgery. I was never 300 or 400 pounds or anything like that. But I mean, when I got married, I was 192 pounds. So I was heavier than I should have been. But I've tried dieting my whole life that I can remember. Not so much probably elementary school, but I remember every fad diet that's come along has been tried. I've done a million weight loss challenges with my mom and my husband and different family members. And the very frustrating thing about that is I would be doing everything they were doing and they would lose weight and I wouldn't. And I went through that a million different ways and a million different times. And I've gone through bouts of extreme exercise. I've gone through bouts of extreme deprivation to myself because I would have wanted to do anything to feel better and lose weight. And so after I had my daughter, she was born in 2008. After I had her, I was up to probably 210, 215 pounds and feeling really crummy about myself. And I did start on weight loss medication at that point. And I lost a lot of weight. I got down to 150 pounds and thought I was amazing, right? Because, you know, you weigh less and you feel better. And it wasn't healthy and it wasn't sustainable. And so what I found is, you know, after the weight loss meds were gone, I didn't start eating any different, but the weight started coming back. And it never stopped coming back. After I had my son, he was born in 2014, I was back up to about 230 pounds. And at that point, I was devastated. I was doing another weight loss challenge with my husband and my mom, and I was completely devastated because at that point I weighed more than my husband did. And I'm short. I mean, I'm only like 5'5" on a good day. But I was just devastated. I mean, I don't want to weigh more than my husband does. And so at that point, I started kind of looking into weight loss surgery, but I didn't qualify. You have to meet certain qualifications based on insurance, based off surgeons. And so I didn't qualify for surgery. I was that heavy and I was obese, but I didn't qualify for surgery. And so I had a couple options, either keep trying on my own or gain weight in order to qualify for surgery. And as bad as it sounds, I thought about gaining weight to qualify for surgery at that point. But I thought, okay, you know, you don't qualify for that numbers wise, so let's just keep on going. Let's just keep on trucking. Let's just keep trying to lose weight on our own. I did things like joining, there's like a fitness club you can join in my area where you go do workouts as a group. I can't remember the exact name of it, but you have like a trainer that works with a group of people. And so I started doing that and eating a healthy diet, and weight didn't move. Did it for a solid month, weight never moved. Not a single ounce of a single pound moved. And it just got to a point where it was just so incredibly frustrating dealing with this and never having a way for it to change. It just wouldn't change. Nothing would change. I mean, it didn't matter what diet I went on. It didn't matter how much exercise I was putting in. Nothing would change. And so just let it go. And the next thing I know, you know, we're taking trips to Disney with our kids, which is great. Or we're going to Six Flags with our kids, which is great. And I'm having trouble walking, like bad trouble walking. I would get to a point where just to walk from the car to the parking lot, I would need to take a break. And trying to walk between rides, it was all I could do to get from one ride to the next. And thank God that I had to wait in line for the ride so that I had time to recover in between each ride. And that's so sad because at that point, I mean, we're talking, you know, 38, 39 years old. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know how many more trips I can do before I'm going to have a motorized cart to get me around these parks, because I can't keep doing this. And going to Six Flags and almost not fitting in a couple of rides, and thinking to myself, this is not how I want my life to be. This is not what I want to be. This is not who I want to be. And knowing, you know, something needs to change. So then my health started taking a turn for the worse. It wasn't just the walking that became a problem. The next thing I knew, the problems were with my blood pressure. And so it just started where I would have dizzy spells just sitting at my desk at work. I would get extremely dizzy, or I would start to see little floating twinkles in my vision, and just tired, not feeling good at all. And so I started checking my blood pressure at work with the blood pressure machine in the break room, and my numbers were just off the charts. They were so high. And not just my pulse rate, but my blood pressure itself, just everything was just so high. And I don't remember my exact numbers, and I don't want to lie, but they were extremely high, way over the high values that are on the machines. And so I scheduled an appointment with my doctor and went in, and I told the nurse, what I was there for and what was going on. And she was like, oh, don't worry. The machine at your work must not be calibrated correctly. There's no way at your age that you're having these sort of blood pressure readings. Something's got to be wrong. And so she checked my blood pressure and was amazed because she got the same thing that work was getting. And so she said, well, maybe you're just nervous. People have that where they come in to see the doctor and they're extremely nervous and their blood pressures read high. And so she said, let's just let you calm down for a few minutes till the doctor comes in and he'll retest your blood pressure. So the doctor came in, said, oh, maybe the nurse just didn't get a good reading, took my blood pressure, and sure enough, 4 or 5 checks throughout the appointment all came back the same. So I had dangerously high blood pressure and heart rate, and just my body was just working so hard because I was so heavy, and it just took so much to take care of me. And so started on blood pressure medicine that day. Bonnie, she heard the neighbor's door open. So anyways, it was taking everything out of me. And once I was diagnosed with the blood pressure, and at this point I'm 240 pounds, 240 at this point. And so I start to think again about weight loss surgery. And it's not that I wanted to take an easy way out. I don't want anyone to think that surgery by any means is an easy way out. It is so not. But I thought, what am I going to be able to do long term? So I started thinking about it myself. But I didn't say anything to anybody about it because I knew everybody's kind of opinions from the past and how just work harder, do more, eat less. Like I haven't tried those things. And so I decided just to keep it inside. I didn't say anything to anybody. So I went back for a follow-up with the primary care physician on my blood pressure. Even with medicine, it was not coming down where it should be, not even close. And so it was actually my primary care physician that looked at me and said, look, with your family history of heart disease, heart attack, early death from heart attacks, and your health history, I'm afraid that if you don't make some drastic changes, you are not going to be here to see your daughter graduate high school. Okay, so that was when my daughter was in 6th grade. Well, I guess 6th to 7th grade, somewhere in that period. And that's really hard for me because not seeing her graduate high school means not seeing my son graduate elementary school. And so he mentioned to me, had I ever considered having weight loss surgery? And because he knew the struggles that I'd had. This was my primary care physician that prescribed weight loss drugs in the past. And, not just after my daughter was born. We had went through this after my son was born too. So he knew my history, and he knew now that I have high blood pressure, there's no going back on weight loss drugs at that point because those elevate your heart rate and they elevate your blood pressure, and can't do that now. That's no longer an option. And so I got to thinking about it even more. And at this point, I'm 243 pounds and devastated. So I decided to start looking into weight loss surgery. So the first thing I did was just start researching it online. There's Axton. Hey, Axton.
I'm not happy with
Okay.
my sister.
Okay, I'm recording, so chill out. So anyways, I started looking online, just researching my different surgery options. And then I just started researching my insurance and is this something that they cover, first of all? And so that is really where I started was, okay, I need to find out if this is even a feasible option with my insurance. So I reached out to my insurance company. I got an answer. Yes, it is covered as long as your BMI is, I believe it was 40 or above. Might have been 41 or above, but it had to be a certain BMI, or it could be a little bit less as long as you had one predetermining factor, which blood pressure was a predetermining factor. So I knew that my insurance would cover the surgery. I just needed to find out what doctors in my area they would cover. So that was the next thing I did, was I looked up through their portal what doctors that they covered for gastric surgery. And then I started researching those doctors. So I just pulled up their websites. I just started reading all about them. And so I decided that I was going to call and schedule an appointment with Dr. Watson Roy. And I did. But before I did that, I needed to tell my husband. And, you know, that was scary to me. That was hard to me because I didn't know how he was going to react to that. Because, of course, I knew that he loved me no matter what. He loved the person that I was. He never once asked me to change myself, ever, in the years that we've been together. And so it was just hard to tell him that I had already made up my mind that I wanted to do this, and that I knew it was going to cost a lot of money, that this was something I needed to do for my health. It was something I needed to do for our family. Hey, Axton, he's on the hammock. And so it was hard, and it took a good couple of weeks for me to decide to tell him. And that is kind of a funny story. Like, I was in tears. I couldn't even get it out. It was so hard to tell him. And I guess I was so worried that I would not have his support on it. Axton, stop. And so he was very supportive of my decision to look into it and understood where I was coming from. Of course, he reassured me that he loves me the way I am. Nothing's ever going to change that. And so I did. I called like that Monday and scheduled an appointment. And this was all, let's just say around November of 2020 was when this was going on. And so my appointment was January 27th of 2021. And so I went to my appointment, and sure enough, my BMI was high enough that I qualified for surgery without any pre-existing conditions. And I'm not saying that like I'm proud of that. Believe me, I'm not proud of that. But it made getting qualified so much easier and smoother. Just zipped right through that way. So there were a few things I had to do. I had to meet with a psychologist, you know, just making sure that I don't have any eating disorders or trauma or anything that I need to work through, which I didn't. I met with a nutritionist who went over food logs and things that I've done, and she agreed with my doctor that in some cases obesity is a hereditary factor. In a lot of cases it's not, but in some cases it is. And she saw what I eat in a day, she saw what I drank in a day, she saw everything. If I had a little Snickers, like I'm a sucker for the little bitty mini ones, I put that on my log. Like, I was completely honest about every single thing I do. And yeah, I'm not perfect, and I wasn't perfect. I'm still not perfect. But there was no reason for me to be as heavy as I was doing what I was doing. And so she agreed that weight loss surgery was a needed thing in my life. So I think I had to have 2 more meetings with the nutritionist. And so I got those done, and they actually bumped my surgery up. So I had surgery March 17th of 2021. So my initial appointment was January 27th. I had surgery March 17th. So of course I did do the 2-week liquid diet before. My doctor's office required, you know, shake for breakfast, shake for lunch, protein shakes, not like weight loss shakes, but protein shakes. And then just a basic meal in the evenings consisting of like 4 ounces of a protein meat, and then you could have like a little vegetable on the side. And I drank all water, and I did like sugar-free popsicles and sugar-free Jell-O, stuff like that. And I stuck to it for the 2 weeks. And then I had the surgery. And so we'll end with that for today. So I started at 243 pounds. I do not know, I do not remember what my weight was the day of surgery, because they didn't weigh me the day of surgery. My starting weight, the weight that we log weight loss from, was 243 pounds. And some people will do this different. They'll say my high weight was 243. My starting weight was whatever my weight was on the morning of surgery. But my doctor's office doesn't work that way, and we didn't weigh the morning of surgery. And so I just know that I started at 243 pounds. I would say I probably lost anywhere from 8 to 9 pounds before the surgery, but I could be wrong. Again, like I said, I didn't weigh the morning of surgery, so I couldn't be 100% honest with you about that. So we'll end this video there. That tells you the story of why I decided to have weight loss surgery. And so when we come back to do the second part of this video, we will talk about the surgery itself, kind of the first couple of weeks after surgery, and then we'll talk about how weight loss started going and everything, and that'll be the second video. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and really if you do have questions about weight loss surgery that you want me to cover in the weight loss surgery video itself on how the weight loss surgery part went and those first couple of weeks of recovery, please leave them in the comments, because I'm happy to answer those questions for you. I don't want to miss anything that might be helpful to someone else. So we're going to end this video here for today. We got some errands to run, right, Axton? Yeah. And then what are we going to do this evening?
Bowling!
We're going bowling this evening, so we can't wait to do that. So,
and can I tell you something?
Sure, tell us something.
Don't tell this to my sister. My sister's really mean to me.
She's really mean to you sometimes? Yeah, y'all are really mean to each other sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so that's it for today. That is why I decided to have VSG surgery. Leave me some comments below. Let me know your questions about the surgery itself. Like, you might want to know why I chose VSG over RNY. You might want to know what do those terms mean. You might want to know all sorts of things about the surgery, and I'm happy to answer that. So leave me some comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. Right, Axton?
Yep.
Yep. And also make sure you like and subscribe, because we don't want you to miss the future videos in the VSG video series. Right?
Yep.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.